Have you ever had this weird, frustrating moment where you understand almost everything in English, but when it is your turn to speak, your mind goes blank, and you suddenly feel like your English level drops by 50%? You are not alone. I see this all the time. And what makes it even more painful is that you might be working hard. You might be studying, watching videos, learning new words, even doing exercises. But in real life, in a meeting, at the airport, at a dinner, on a call, you still do not feel natural. You still do not feel like yourself. Here is a truth that can sting a little, but it can also change everything. A lot of adults are not learning English the wrong amount. They are learning it the wrong way, and the result is not just slower progress. The result is that you start to associate English with pressure, with performance, with that feeling of being judged. And then even simple conversations feel stressful. So, in this episode, I want to walk you through 6 signs that you may be learning English in a way that is holding you back. Not because you are lazy, not because you are not smart, and definitely not because you are not capable. Usually, it is the opposite. It is because you are serious, you care, you want to do it right. And that is exactly why you accidentally build habits that create tension instead of confidence. Let me start with the first sign I notice in so many intermediate and advanced learners. You are focused on being correct more than being clear. You can feel this in your body when you speak. Your sentence starts and then you stop because you are searching for the perfect tense, the perfect preposition, the perfect word. Meanwhile, the other person is just waiting for the main idea. In real-life English, clarity beats perfection almost every time. Native speakers make small mistakes constantly. We change direction mid-sentence. We simplify. We restart. We say it in a different way. That is not bad English. That is human English. I have had students who can explain grammar better than some native speakers, but they cannot comfortably say something simple like, "I will join in 5 minutes," or "I am not sure, let me check." And it is not because they do not know it. It is because they are trying to sound advanced. They are trying to earn the right to speak. But you do not need to earn it. You just need to communicate. If you take one thing from today, take this. The goal is not to impress. The goal is to connect. The second sign is that you are collecting vocabulary like it is the main goal. You learn lists of words. You save them. You highlight them. You might even remember them on a test. But you do not use them when you speak. And then you feel guilty, like you are forgetting everything. But the real issue is not memory. It is usefulness. Most confident speakers do not have a giant vocabulary. They have a smaller vocabulary that they can actually access quickly, under pressure, in real time. They have words that live in sentences, not words that live in a notebook. In my classes, when someone tells me, "Tom, I learned so many new words, but I cannot speak," I usually ask, how many of those words have you used out loud this week, in a real sentence, in a real situation, even if it was just talking to yourself? And the answer is often, not many, because they are learning words the way you would collect stamps, instead of learning language the way you would build muscle. Language is active. It is movement. It is not storage. Quick note, if this kind of topic hits home and you want more practice that feels real, go ahead and subscribe. And if you are watching this as a video, give it a like. It helps the channel, but more importantly, it keeps you connected to this kind of mindset. And if you have one big struggle that keeps showing up when you try to speak, leave it in the comments. I read those, and it helps me make episodes that actually match what you are dealing with. Now, the third sign is one of the biggest. You translate in your head as your main speaking strategy. You think the idea in your language, you build the sentence in your language, and then you try to convert it into English. And if you have time, that can work. If you are writing an email, sure. But in conversation, it is like trying to run while you are tying your shoes. Your brain is doing too many jobs at the same time. And then you feel slow, you feel stuck, you feel like you have to push each word out. The problem is not that you are translating. Everyone translates sometimes. The problem is that you believe you must translate to speak. That belief keeps you dependent. It keeps you waiting for permission from your first language before you can express yourself in English. What helps is building small chunks of English that you can think in directly, not big, complicated sentences, simple ones. The kind that show up all the time. I mean, phrases like, "It depends, I am not sure yet. Let me think. What do you mean by that? I did not catch that. That makes sense. I am working on it." When you own these phrases, you stop building every sentence from zero. And once you stop building from zero, you start sounding fluent. The fourth sign is that most of your English time is passive. And I get it. Passive English feels safe. Watching videos, listening to podcasts, reading articles, scrolling through content in English, it feels productive. And it is not useless. It helps your ear. It helps your sense of the language. But if your goal is to speak, passive practice alone will not get you there. Speaking is a physical skill. It is timing, rhythm, confidence, and decision-making in real time. You cannot learn that only by watching someone else do it. A lot of adults tell me, "I listen to English every day. Why am I not fluent?" And my honest answer is, you are training understanding, not speaking. Think about it like this. If you watch cooking videos every day, you will learn a lot, but you will not automatically become comfortable cooking for other people under pressure. You have to actually cook. You have to burn a few things. You have to learn how it feels when the pan is too hot. Speaking is the same. You need low-pressure speaking reps, talking to yourself while you drive, recording a voice note and listening back, shadowing short lines and copying the rhythm, joining a conversation group where mistakes are normal. It is not about being perfect. It is about being in motion. The fifth sign is that you treat mistakes like evidence that you are bad at English. This one is heavy because it becomes emotional. You make one mistake and suddenly your confidence drops. You start thinking, "They noticed. They think I am stupid. I sounded unprofessional. I ruined it." And then you go quiet, or you avoid speaking next time. That is not a language problem. That is a fear problem, and fear changes how your brain works. When you are nervous, your brain becomes protective. It focuses on danger, not language. So you cannot access the words you actually know. I want to normalize something for you. Mistakes are not a sign that you are failing. Mistakes are a sign that you are doing the real work. Babies do not learn by staying silent until they are perfect. They try, they mess up, they try again. Adults want a clean path, no embarrassment, no awkward moments. But real fluency has awkward moments in it. You have to be willing to sound a little messy while your brain builds speed. And here is something I have seen again and again. The learners who become confident are not the ones who make the fewest mistakes. They are the ones who recover quickly. They make a mistake. They keep going. They correct it casually if they want, or they just move on. That ability to continue is what makes you sound fluent, not perfect grammar. Continuation. The sixth sign is that your English life is too separated from your real life. You have study English time, and then you have real life time, and English stays in its little box. You might do an app at night or a lesson on the weekend, but during the day, you live in your language. You think in your language. You handle emotions in your language. You make decisions in your language. And then when you need English, it feels like wearing someone else's clothes. It feels unnatural because it is not connected to who you are. If you want English to feel natural, it has to touch your real life. It has to become the language you use for small, ordinary moments. The language you use to plan your day. The language you use to talk to yourself when you are looking for your keys. The language you use when you are cooking and you realize you forgot one ingredient. I know it sounds small, but that is where comfort comes from. Not from advanced vocabulary. Comfort comes from familiarity. One of my favorite things to suggest is choosing a few daily moments where you gently switch to English. Not the whole day. That would be exhausting. Just a few minutes at a time. When you are showering, describe your plan for the day in English. When you are walking, narrate what you see. When you are sending a message, try writing the first draft in English, even if you do not send it. When you do this, you are teaching your brain that English is not a performance. It is a normal tool. Now, if you recognized yourself in a few of these signs, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not behind. You are not broken. You have just been practicing in a way that creates tension. And the fix is not more pressure. The fix is a shift toward real communication, real repetition, and a kinder relationship with your own voice. So what does learning the right way feel like? It feels a little more simple. It feels a little more personal. It feels like you are building a small set of phrases that you can use anywhere. It feels like you are speaking even when you are not ready. It feels like you are allowing yourself to be an adult with an accent, an adult who sometimes says it the wrong way and still deserves to be heard. Because you do. And the moment you stop treating English like a test, you start sounding more like yourself. Your personality comes back. Your humor comes back. Your opinions come back. You stop trying to survive conversations, and you start participating in them. If you want a small challenge for this week, keep it simple. Pick one situation that normally makes you overthink. Maybe it is introducing your idea in a meeting. Maybe it is making small talk before a call starts. Maybe it is ordering food or asking a question in a group. Prepare 2 or 3 easy phrases you can use, and then use them. Not perfectly, just use them. Then notice what happens, not just in the other person, but in you. Notice how confidence grows when you act, not when you wait. You do not need flawless English to have a good conversation. You need courage, repetition, and a way of learning that supports your real life. And if you have been learning the wrong way, that is actually good news, because it means you can change the method and feel progress fast. Keep going, keep it human, and keep speaking, even when it feels a little uncomfortable. That is where the real confidence is built.